Breakfast on the Beach, 8HA, coming up to this year's Festival of the Wheel, now number 12 it turns out to be, and sitting in the studio with me is a regular contributor to our Red CentreNATS from day dot, as a matter of fact, when it all began way back in the day, young Jordan Hill. And once more, thanks for taking the time to come and join us this morning on the radio, buddy.
Morning, how are you?
Yeah, great, buddy. And this year it's all to do with everything local. So tell us a little bit about the team at Red CentreNATS and the conversation you're having with them on a regular basis about encouraging local content, local involvement, and I guess, you know, when it comes to volunteering, you're a man who's front and centre stage with that, with this town and our community.
Yeah, look, we're excited for this event like we are every year. It's going to be huge. We've got a few new small things coming into the play with the dirt drags, so I'm volunteering at the dirt drags like I have the last couple of years.
When you say small things, are you allowed to give up a little bit?
So we've changed. Last year was the first run for dirt drags, and we had to run it at a 100-metre sprint. We technically had it run as a go-to-woe to sort of have a bit of a test run. And MSA was hanging around on the weekend and had a good look at it, and in the end they came to an agreement that we could run it as 8th mile. So now we've got enough room to run it as an 8th mile drag strip on the dirt, which means that people can go to the tarmac drags, have a great time down there, get an 8th mile time, and then come down to the dirt drags and do an 8th mile run there as well and get comparative times and have a really good competition with the drags against their mates. And you know, the dirt drags aren't as serious. It's basically totally a grudge event. There is some competition around with times and competitiveness within the event itself, but it's really just grudge racing. It's good fun. There's not as much traction on the tarmac. You really got to hold on to it, and I think everyone's going to have a great time down there.
Yeah, well, the tarmac, we could call it that. It's more dirt mac. Is there prize money involved with that, by the way? Because they're throwing a lot of prize money this year to Red CentreNATS. A hell of a lot of money.
Yeah, huge bump in prize money this year. They've bumped it up to $12,000. I think, at the dirt drags, which is crazy.
Was it just, hang on, just the dirt drags?
Oh, no, $12,000 across the categories.
The categories,
So there's money up for grabs at all the events. It's a huge pool of money. And yeah, it's going to be fantastic. I'm really excited to see what we get come down. Last year we had some crazy vehicles. We had burnout vehicles come down there and have a go, and I can tell you they held on to that going down that drag strip.
Well, yeah, I was sort of saying that's a hell of a lot of horsepower to put to pretty much powder.
Oh, yeah, it was. It was by the time they finished.
By the time these guys finished. It runs across the entire weekend as well. We're running a little bit short on volunteers this year, so what's the story with that?
Yeah, look, we've actually got a pretty good number of volunteers this year, but we can always do with more, and we always need more. And so if you're interested in volunteering with CentreNATS, it's a fantastic event. The people are really cool. I've had a great time. The best thing about CentreNATS is that they listen. You got an idea, you go to them, you say, hey, look, can we change this? And they actively try to see if they can do it. It's not we'll look into it, and it never happens. It's let's go and investigate it. Let's see if we can make this happen.
So you kind of feel like some of your contributions and the content that you're putting forward can be actually taken seriously if it can indeed be implemented in that sort of way. What are the perks other than that? I mean, are there any special, you probably get an all-day pass across the entire event because as a volunteer, no doubt, you'd be able to...
You get in behind the scenes, of course.
Access all areas, I guess.
Yeah, you get in behind the curtain. You get to see how the event's run and how it's organised. And yeah, look, we have a great time with the officials making sure that the event runs smoothly. Some of us go from place to place, others are locked at a venue to help things run. So obviously I'm at the Dirt Drags event arena. And look, you get your lunch given to you all day, and a heap of support network from all of the volunteers that are around there and helping us out. It's really good fun.
Oh, it's nice to get a free drink on arrival. As well, amongst that, there is the event, which is also encompassing bikes this year. There's a heavy focus on the two-wheels sector, isn't there? Yeah,
there is. Yeah. So last year we had a couple of bikes come down. We had a Harley and a dirt bike and a couple of others. And look, they had a great time. It was interesting seeing a mix between different styles and different types of bikes having a crack on the same surface, and again, those Harley riders, I've got to give it to them. They were holding on to that down a dirt strip.
Yeah, that's a big bike to be holding on to something like pudding. Absolutely. Like while you're trying to ride through pudding in there.
But I've heard down the grapevine that there's a couple of really unique and special bikes coming down this year.
Really?
Someone apparently entered a form of drag bike, a specialty drag bike that's coming down there that's specifically built for dirt. Mm-hmm. So there's a couple of them coming, which will be really interesting. But if you've got a bike, it doesn't matter if it's an enduro or a motocross bike, or you've built it for Fink, come down and run it. they've also had a chat to the off-road club here in Alice Springs to see if they can get some of the buggies to come down and have a run as well.
Speaking of off-road, Jordan, by the way, your big old bus there, or should we call it the Horty 40, but Shorty, is now undergone some pretty major, shall we say, upgrades and modifications. It's got a BMW engine in it these days, yeah?
Yeah, it's been down there last year having a run. It'll be back down there this year having
You've won
another
a
run
few
as well.
events with that too, haven't you, over the years?
Yeah, it's sort of been in and out and done its thing. It's not bad for a garden shed from the 80s built in a bloke's shed, but it gets along and does what it does.
It's just a lot cleaner, a lot more better put together than the poor old smelly old Warthog, and it probably goes to its gears a lot better too these days. But you've also won Show and Shine with that in your category?
Once, a couple of years ago. But it does a lot less show and shine nowadays, and more of a support vehicle around around the events. And
so
it's still entered.
Are you entering it in any official capacity?
Yeah, it'll be entered, and it'll do a couple of toy runs down the strip. But I'll have my hands full most of the weekend, helping running with the event as well. So, and again, we don't need volunteers to come down and run the entire event for the entire weekend. We can come down and do a few hours here or there, and then go and enjoy the rest of the event.
Can you, as a volunteer, request to go in a particular area or section, or you just sort of like, if you've got particular skills or a certain skill set that you can say, I'd be more useful here in that area there, or whatever it is, or they will just pick you to a location to go to?
Look, if you've got no preference, they'll put you where they need volunteers. But if you really have an interest in drags, or you really have an interest in more off-road stuff, absolutely have a chat to them, and they'll try and cater to whatever you really want to be involved in.
Where will people be able to get the most information as far as getting on board as a volunteer? Go to the website. Is there a location, like a subset there, that you would go and click on for volunteers?
Yeah, so on the main Red CentreNATS website, you can get on and there's a tab there for volunteering. You hop on there, fill out a form, and then someone's in touch pretty quickly.
Okay, fantastic. Well, it's great. We're in the weekend coming up. That's always been the Father's Day weekend in September, the first one. That's my birthday weekend, as a matter of fact, just as interesting as it goes. Always a great gift to be a part of Red CentreNATS, and Red CentreNATS is a part of Alice Springs. This year's number 12. Jordan Hill chatting to us this morning on the radio for Red CentreNATS 2026. Thanks for coming in and having a chat.
Thanks, man.
All right, catch you soon.